Okay, welcome and thank you for joining me. For those who don't know me, my name is Deanne. I call myself a soulful lifestyle coach, and that's because I help people live a soulful lifestyle, a lifestyle that's something they love and aligned with their journey. So my own journey, I've had, I'm an empath myself, and I think a lot of my depression over my lifetime was possibly other people's. It's interesting, isn't it? And I also believe that a couple of relationships that was in was me actually feeling their attraction to me. That's how deep this empath stuff can go. So I'm going to share my screen.
I was just writing the date down and it was the 7th, and I've looked down and it's 7:07, just so you know.
I love it.
777.
See, that's an empath thing. Empaths just, they see the signs. Yeah, we're amazing. And that's what we're going to discover today. All right. You can see that fine? Thanks. So let's discuss where you are, in fact, an empath first, because some people don't understand the difference between empath and empathy. So having empathy is a bit like sympathy. Having empathy means you feel for someone in the situation they're in. An empath actually feels their emotions as if it's their own. That's the difference. So to determine if you are, in fact, an empath, we need to know, do you find yourself taking on other people's emotions or their stress, or as it's your own? Have been accused of being too sensitive. There's HSP is another word kind of for empath, which is highly sensitive person. Do you get overwhelmed in crowded spaces? I know I do. It's that you feel like all your energy is being drawn from you and there's too much happening and it's just too much for your brain to handle, because we're so observant of everything. When there's a lot going on, it's too much. And do other people describe you as empathetic, which is the empathy that I mentioned? If you answered yes to those or half of those, you're in the right place. I love this quote. That's what this is all about tonight. As empaths, we're not here to be sponges or enablers, which is what most of us do because we don't know how else to do it. We're here to be helpers, guides, and supporters. And Alethea Luna, who quoted that, she actually wrote a book about empaths. So let's look more into it. The pros of being an empath is you can provide emotional support for others. We feel you, so we can help you. And that's what we all strive to do, right? That's where the sponge can come in quite often. We do it over the top sometimes, but we can provide emotional support for others because we're feeling what they're feeling. We know when someone needs help, again, because we're feeling what they're feeling. And we can tell if someone will be good for ourselves, but we don't always listen to that bit, right? Because we can feel it. So this highly sensitive being that we are is actually advantageous in those ways. But the cons of that are we get emotionally drained, don't we? Because we're feeling their stuff as well as our stuff, and it can be too much. Sometimes you find it hard to make time for you because we're so busy worrying about everybody else, right? We're doing things for everyone else and don't even consider ourselves. People pleasing. And we can be too much for other people. If people are private, like those people don't like being hugged, then it can feel invasive to them that we're able to read their energy. The ways around those cons, the first one, feeling emotionally drained, is to replenish your energy. We'll go into that some more and make time for yourself. Absolutely need to make time for ourselves to recharge and be selective about who you spend time with. And that's not just for those who may feel you're invading their personal space, but also for you, right? Okay, so these are ways to shield and protect yourself. And I'm sure you can add some of these. But one way is to imagine a force field around you, a shield made of light. So it can be a sphere around you or a egg shape, however that looks. Just imagine a shield around you, and it could be white light, gold, silver, pink light. Pink's unconditional love. Blue white light is healing. So you can imagine a light around you protecting you like a force field. You can use power words or affirmations. Just be mindful of affirmations that you really should believe the words you're saying for them to work. So you might say something like, I am safe and protected at all times. And to believe that, you just think of your guides. We've got spirit guides around us. You can say, I'm in control of my energy and my power. So words like that can help you believe that you're in fact safe and protected. Breathing, we can do that together if you like. Just imagine you're breathing in your power on the inhale and exhale all negativity. You can use motions if you like gathering it in. Gather in your power and exhale negativity. Do that a few times until you feel better. Like the force field, we can imagine we've got a cloak on. Imagine you've got the cape and the hood, and that can be protecting you. And that could be a sparkly, glittery one, or it could be a dark blue one, or whatever it is that suits you. You might want to have a shadow cloak. An interesting point on that actually is when I was in Egypt, Tracy, who was the person who organized it all, we're trying to, everywhere you go in Egypt, you have to pay for the toilet paper. There's no toilet paper in the toilets. There's someone standing outside with a toilet roll, and they'll tear off a couple of pages. Is it pages? Sheets. Tear off a couple of sheets for you, and you got to pay them for it. And she just went, I'm going to put on my cloak. And she walked straight through, straight past them. Didn't even see her. It was amazing. So if you believe this stuff, it actually does work. You can do cleansing or smudging, Palo Santo sticks, smudging sticks. Smudging sticks are just made from various plant matter. You can have different plants for different effects. If it's healing or simply for protection, you might want to have an affirmation with that and say something like, I release all negative energy attachments while you're smudging. As I mentioned before, you could call in your angels or your spirit guides. I did that. Speaking of Egypt, on my trip to Egypt, I called in my guides, said, please protect me while I'm away. Essential oils, I combine a few in a little spray bottle. So you can use things like tea tree, lemongrass, clove, frankincense, eucalyptus, all those sort of oils that are for cleaning or cleansing the air are great for releasing negative energy, and things like clove, which is for boundaries, and that you can use for protection. And on boundaries, establish good boundaries. Learn to say no. Trust your instincts. We're the best at instincts. Trust them. And the opposite of fear or anxiety is being grounded, right? Because when we're fearing or anxious, we're in our heads. When we're grounded, we feel safe and secure. And if you know about chakras, the root chakra, the bottom chakra is where we're grounded. And that's our survival and everything. So these are really quick ways to get grounded. This is a Chinese medicine technique. You can place your hand over your crown, and that kind of disconnects the fear energy and helps you to pull down and focus on the lower chakras or focus on the ground itself. So you're preventing that high energy. And because your hand is facing down, you're kind of pushing the energy down to ground. And you do that for 30 seconds to a minute and you'll be grounded. So that's a nice, quick, easy technique. Another one is to focus on your feet. Either you can even grab your feet if you like, or just imagine you can see the bottoms of your feet or feel how your feet are on the ground, and do that for 30 seconds to 5 minutes, depends how anxious you are or the type of personality you are as well. Walking bare feet on the earth is a favorite of mine. Instant grounding for me. There's all kinds of reasons to be walking bare feet on the ground, apart from grounding. There's an energy exchange with the earth and all kinds of stuff. So that communication between the earth and yourself with your bare feet is incredible. It's really effective at grounding. Observing your breath. Again, the breath is really powerful. Notice your inhale and your exhale. So if you want to just breathe naturally now, and just notice the rise and fall of your chest or your stomach as you breathe. Feel the temperature of your breath. You might notice as it goes in, it's quite cool, and as you breathe out, it's quite warm. And you do that for 1 minute to 10 minutes until you feel calm again. So they're really easy. You don't need anything. You can just use your body, ways to ground. And establish energetic boundaries. What I mean by this is separating yourself from others, because again, the empath is picking up on the energies or the feelings of other people. So a very simple way is, again, just take a deep breath and say, I'm back. I love it. It really is just straight away. You're back in your body. You've separated yourself from the other people or person, and you're instantly in the moment. Or alternatively, you can say your name. Take a deep breath and just say your name. I feel a bit weird doing that, but you might love it. Ask yourself, is this mine? When you're feeling really strong emotions or anxiety or fear, ask, is this mine? And if it's not, don't just let it with, oh, good, it's not. Find out. Ask yourself, whose is it? Because we can easily doubt ourselves and go, oh, maybe it was mine. By asking whose is it, then we know it's not ours, oh, it's Dave. Okay. Another technique to separate yourself from what's going on is naming what happened. You might walk into a room where someone's just had a big, huge argument, and you've just picked up all that energy, right? So just say to yourself, that's not mine. I just walked into a tension-filled room. Again, it's that separation. And by saying these words, asking these questions, it's almost the same as affirming it, where making sure that we've made that clear that it's not mine, that I've walked into this room, that's not mine, whatever the situation is that you walked into. And the last one I have here is to name 5 different things about you and the other person or people that you feel the entanglement with. So it might be, I've got blonde hair, they've got dark hair, I'm tall, they're short. Just look at different things that are obvious, that are different about you, and that separates you. Is there any questions? Just writing lots. Okay, this is the big one for us empaths. The narcissist empath dynamics. We are drawn to each other. It's really, really not healthy. We are drawn to each other. And it's always a one-sided relationship. One gives, the other takes. Who gives? The empath gives. We feel their pain. We feel their trauma, their upset, their whatever, and we just want to help, which is what this whole program has been about so far, is how we just want to help. So we're drawn to them because we think we can help them. And the narcissist loves that attention, loves it. Narcissists are all about attention. Doesn't matter if it's good attention, bad attention, they just want attention. But the narcissist also sees our compassion as a weakness. So they play us. They play us. I'm sure you felt that. They demoralize us and they blame us for their shit. A narcissist goes from perpetrator to victim in a heartbeat, whatever suits them best. And that's how I acknowledge I'm talking to or in the presence of a narcissist, is because that it's all about them. And if it's not working, they'll go to the victim or point a finger at you, blame you, right? Which is a victim. And trauma bonding can happen, right? Because we so want to help them. The empath wants to help so, so much that the more there is wrong, the more they want to help. That creates this trauma bonding. But narcissists will never admit they have a problem. They'll never admit they're hurting. They'll never admit something's wrong, so they can never heal. I read somewhere once the only way a narcissist, because it is a personality disorder, by the way, it's not just they love themselves, it's a personality disorder. I read somewhere once that the only way to heal it is for them to see a psychotherapist, and they would never do it. I believe there's more ways they can heal because I'm an empath. But they'll never admit they've got something wrong with them. So eventually, hopefully, the empath realizes they can't do anything and they leave. And just like that, the narcissist has another victim. They're in another relationship. And then the empath is like, oh, what was wrong with me? How come they're happy now? I'm all alone. And all they've done is found another victim. They're not in love with that person any more than they were you. They just found themselves another victim. The interesting thing about the narcissist and the empath is both of our conditions, I'll call it, come from trauma. We've experienced trauma, so we are highly sensitive to everything around us as a means of protection, right? And the narcissist has just decided no one's going to get in. I'm never going to get hurt again. So both of them are a result of trauma. That's my opinion anyway. And it's pretty evident, really. And ironically, quite often, our trauma has come from a narcissistic parent. Both the empath and the narcissist have probably had one or two narcissistic parents. It's not always the case, but usually. And that's why we feel that connection. That's why we're drawn to each other. We feel that in each other. But it never works. And it's ironic because when you've had a narcissistic parent, usually the first, well, even if you don't have a narcissistic parent, I'll start that differently. Usually the first relationship you go into, unless you've been really blessed and aware and got the right one the first time, usually the first relationship you go into is trying to mend the wounds of someone, a relationship you had in childhood. So if you've had a narcissistic parent, you're going to be drawn to a narcissistic person and you're going to try and fix that there with the new person in your life, what you couldn't fix with that parent, and it's never going to work, of course. So usually the first relationship we have in our lives doesn't work because we're trying to fix something from our childhood and we've attracted the exact same person into our life, so it's never going to work. It's on a subconscious level, of course. We don't consciously do that. I hope. So yeah, it's never going to work with a narcissist and an empath. So how do we move from overwhelm to empowerment? The first thing we need to do is understand our sensitivity. And sometimes when it gets way too much, instead of pushing it down, we need to actually surrender to it. After many, many years of trying to heal everything in me, I've learned that sometimes you're meant to actually feel it, feel the emotion. And the phrase I was taught was feel to heal. Sometimes being with the emotion actually is healing. When we push emotions down, we're keeping them. So ideally, sit with your emotions when it gets too much. Allow yourself to have that space. And when you're in that emotion, try to actually be the higher self, watching you, the human, with that emotion. And then you're witnessing the emotion, which is what it needs to be seen. And then it'll go. I used to say, I still say it sometimes, that crying is the old me dying because I'm letting it go. I'm healing that part of me. Something else that's good to do is to observe what triggers you, what makes you respond with anxiety or sensitivity, what really triggers you, or your sensitivities, and find ways to counteract it. We had some suggestions in this masterclass.
I have one thing, sorry. I feel like it's important for your first next point. Just I had a moment today with a friend and she was feeling her emotions and I was just working with her. I said, let it out. And she kept apologizing. And that's something that when our emotions hit and we feel them, don't apologize. Let it out and go for it. There's no need to have a sorry or a worry. Like let it out. And yeah, don't apologize for your emotions. That's yeah.
Great share. Thank you very much. Yeah, like I said, we need to have them. We're supposed to have them. And there's no negative emotion either. They've all got a use. They're all there to help release. Thanks, Shannon. Practice self-care, but in the form of me time, like spend time with you alone without external stimulations, because that's what sets us off quite often, right? Is all those stimuli. So um, even with restoring energy there, I've got meditation. Meditation is fantastic for empaths. Sitting in quiet, sitting in nature, find time where there's nothing to alert your senses or trigger fear or anxiety. Just sit with yourself somewhere. That can be something that we struggle with, even, is sitting by ourselves, because we don't want to go into those emotions. We're too busy pushing them down. So me time is super important. Recharging your energy is super important, because we do give so much and we lose ourselves in bigger groups and situations. So meditation, mindfulness activities, time in nature are all very useful for empaths. Reprogramming your subconscious. From the age of 0 to 7, everything we see and we hear we believe to be true, and it creates our identity, which is possibly where the empath came in, right? And we have all these limiting beliefs that we're not conscious of, that might be, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm alone. There's all kinds of different things you can have. I'm abandoned. And they have us with low self-esteem. So by reprogramming your subconscious beliefs, which can be done in healing work, you can do it with psychology, all kinds of different ways. You can even do it yourself. Will boost your confidence and your self-esteem, and you'll be able to protect yourself better in situations where we don't. That's my specialty, actually, is subconscious work. Gain clarity and total understanding of your sensitivity. The more you understand your sensitivity, the more you understand that it can be actually your power and not your weakness, the more you can understand where to put in boundaries and understand where you need to use some of the tools we've discussed here. And you can sense that others' emotions aren't yours after a while. I'm well aware of it now after lots of practice and releasing subconscious beliefs. You start to know, hang on a minute, that's not mine. So this is the good stuff. This is what we're really, really good at. So an empath can tell if someone's lying easily. We can tell. You got to believe yourself, right? When you get these things, believe it. You can tell when someone's not being authentic. And that's really handy for your own good, but also for others. We consider all points of view, because we feel other people's emotions or energies and sense all these different things. In a situation, we can actually take in everyone's perspective and come up with the solution that's best for everybody. And we're quite diplomatic in that way, right? We have very strong intuition. We see the warning signs. We even see messages from spirit. We're so in tune, we see everything. And that's a blessing when we use it. We're psychic. When we sense emotions of someone in a room, we can actually sense emotions of someone hundreds of miles away. And I've done that. I was so close to my nan, my dad's mum, that when I was doing FIFO, I knew when she was sick. I'd ring her up and say, Nan, you okay? And she goes, yeah, I'm fine. I went, oh, I was just feeling you weren't. And she goes, isn't that amazing? She was a church girl. So she never really believed it. That's amazing.
I literally felt when one of my friends went into labor.
Wow. So there you go. See? So that's
ridiculous. We weren't even like that super close, but I'd worked with her for so long. And I was just crouching on the ground. I was like, my stomach hurts. And then I found out that was the same time as she went into labor.
Yeah, it would have hurt. Yeah, for sure. That's not good. And that's why we need to be able to disconnect, right? That's not mine. Face off, that's not mine. Yeah.
I know I felt your back when we did our sound healing. I went straight to your back going, oh, yep, there it is.
Yeah, love it. People tend to open up to us. When my son was doing karate, they had a tournament at an outdoor sports field thing. And I was a young parent. I had my son when I was 18. So all the other parents are a lot older. And I didn't really want to hang out with them. So I was sitting miles away under a tree, nowhere near where they're actually doing the work. And this woman in a wheelchair pushed across the grass all the way over, like pushing a wheelchair all the way over to where I was, coming directly at me, beelining for me. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And she said hello, introduced herself, and then she just spilled her guts about all kinds of really horrific stuff. And I'm like, what's going on? And I've experienced that most of my life. Not to that extreme necessarily, but people just feel like they can open up to you, right? And that's good because quite often that's the role of a counselor. Quite often when people things when they get to say things out loud, they get off their chest, quite literally, they get off their chest. Sometimes when people talk about things, they find a solution for themselves. We just have to know not to take it on as our own. But the fact that people can open up to us is a beautiful thing. We're natural healers. I was told that years ago, you're a healer, back when I was in my 20s wearing flannelette shirts and steel cap boots. And I thought, no, I'm not. Now it's half my business. We're natural healers. But again, it's that subconscious belief stuff. We don't believe it. We don't give ourselves enough credit. But we're all natural healers. That's why we have sensing and connection with people. We're ingenious. Absolutely ingenious. When you put all these things I just mentioned together, that proves it, right? We can see all perspectives. Strong intuition. We're psychic. We're natural healers. We are the creatives and the entrepreneurs. Empaths don't do well in 9 to 5. We die in 9 to 5. We need that creative and entrepreneurial stuff. We can see what is wrong in any given situation. That's the beauty of sensing everything, right? So we can prevent things from going wrong. Again, we've got to trust ourselves. Visionary leaders. Again, it's the ingenuity, the healing, psychic, intuition. We know what's wrong. We know we can be diplomatic. Visionary, we can see all possibilities. We believe in ourselves.
Need to work on that one.
Yeah. We can turn negatives into positives, right? Because we want to make people feel better. So we know how to make a negative a positive. We know how to raise people's vibrations and lift their spirits. It's just natural to us. And we can tap into the conscious collective. I can guarantee anyone watching this in the lockdowns felt the energy of the conscious collective. We felt everyone, we felt everyone else's sadness. We felt everyone's right.
Yeah.
That's how powerful we are. Half the world were wandering around, not noticing anything, only worry about themselves. And we're like, whoa, can you feel the planet?
I'm butting in. I was living in the caravan with my 2 boys at this point, and I felt everybody. And then I was like, I need to shift this because I don't need to feel bad. And then I was like, okay, stop and look around at where we are. I did the feet grounding, and I was like, I lived at a caravan park at the beach, so it didn't stop us from enjoying our little bubble of things. And yeah, no, and then embracing that after you felt all the feelings, then coming back to you, I was like, oh, and then I'm like, oh, Mother Earth is healing. So
yeah. So you look at all that, read all that again. That's how fucking amazing we are. It's all true, isn't it? Just got to stop doubting yourself. Work through those limiting beliefs. Let go of all the crap. Is there any questions?
You would think so, but I'm just trying to take it all in at the moment. But I'm realizing even since I was like 16, 17, a long time ago, we used to, my brother's friends who were all 13, 14, used to always come to me for advice and come to me to talk. So we all used to hang out in like, we'd go up to like the fort.
Yeah.
And just talk. And they could all just like, we just sit around in a circle pretty much and just all openly talk about everything. And I just assumed it was because I was 2, 3 years older than them. So I had more life experience. But yeah, now I'm thinking it was probably more than that, that they were all confident enough and calm enough to talk to me.
Yeah. Bingo. Because a lot of boys would never talk.
No. And there was probably like 6 of them.
There you go.
Yeah. Probably about 6 of us used to go there. My brother was one, and he probably didn't talk much, but all of his friends were happy to talk. And now one of his friends lives in America, and he's messaged and said, like, thank you for letting me be me, because totally different. But yeah, he's trans now, but he said that was the only house he felt comfortable being at ever since he was between the ages of, I think I met him when he was about 6 to 16, and he's probably 35 now. And he's messaged me a few times and just like, thank you, like, your house is the only house that I felt safe at. And we didn't even think about it then. It was just like, we played Barbies and we dressed up in girls' clothes. But it wasn't strange or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm guessing at other people's places that was strange to them. But I played boy things.
Complete tomboy. And again, I agree with you. Guys used to talk to me, and I thought it was just because I was the girl that was there. Not.
Yeah.
But it's not the case.
No. Like there's always random people. Like even today, I had to go to Centrelink to sort out my my TAFE stuff. And as soon as I actually didn't even sit down. As soon as I walked in, the security guard started talking to me.
There you go.
And then I went and sat down, and then the receptionist was like, go sit over here. So then I had to go and sit closest, and he just talked to me for the whole time, and I was just like, okay. And at the point I was just like,
to be honest
with you, too much right now. Pork ribs and stuff. It was very, very weird, but I just couldn't stop talking to me.
Yeah, that's why we need boundaries and things, right? Which
I really like that I'm back.
Yeah.
I subconsciously go, I'm okay, instead of I'm back. So I want to transform the I'm okay to I'm back. Because a lot of, like, even with my car accident, because it was my dad and my spirit guides talking to me, and I'm like, or like, I'm okay, I'm okay. And even when I'm at the shops and it's busy, or like I go, I'm okay. But I definitely like that I'm back. So I want to, because it's still 2 simple words, like I'm okay, but I'm back. So I really want to flip that. So yeah.
It's a way to get you back into your body and separate yourself from the situation. Yeah, it's
I'm definitely written I'm back in brackets, not that I'm okay. I'm back. So
Did you want to mention some crystals maybe that people can use for protection, Shannon, while you're here?
Yeah, I mean, the first one is, I say the obvious one, but your black tourmaline is such a powerful protective crystal. But another one that is really almost forgotten about that it can be protecting is smoky quartz. Like, that is the biggest anti-worry stone. You tell it your worries and it dispels off, and then you feel safe, you feel grounded, you feel secure. And then with black tourmaline, then that gives you that ultimate protection. So like between those two, like anti-worry and protecting is grounding. Like that, those two are so powerful together. And even howlite is the other under, like that's for empaths, like that is the going back to my okay, creates that safe white bubble around you and really help for your dream state. Because that's something that I know for me being an empath when I'm in bed going, okay, I don't need to absorb anything that happens throughout the day. I'm safe here. And the words that I'm okay. And then howlite, even if you don't have it, like visualizing howlite going over you is a nice way to end your day as well, just to give you that white light of nothingness.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to go deeper, I've created a program called the Sacred Path. It's designed for empaths in particular to turn your sensitivity into power and to know how to show up your success. It's also to understand your gifts, to help you move through self-doubt and to create a life you love. So over the 8 weeks, they're the topics for each week there. And I'm only just launching it. So it's only going to be $333 right now. And it won't be starting until January 3rd. So if you wanted to, you could make weekly payments of $33.30 starting this week. It will be $555 later once I get it out there. But I want to offer it more affordably the first time. So if that's something that interests you, please reach out and let me know. Otherwise, thank you, ladies, for joining me and sharing. That's wonderful. I'll stop sharing my screen. And I will be recording out so you can re-watch it all.
Thank you so much.
No worries. I hope to see you soon. Bye.
Absolutely. Bye. Thank you, ladies.
Bye. Thank you.